Hey guys, welcome back. I have been binge watching tier ranking videos, so I thought it would be fun to try and make one of my own today. I've decided to rank all of the series that I've ever read. I didn't include series from when I was really young or series where I only read the first book, or if it was the series that I just absolutely didn't remember anything about. So yeah, we got some good series here. We've got God tier, loved it, it was okay, not a huge fan, or burn it. The burn it tier is inspired by books past bedtime. I absolutely loved her tier ranking videos. I'll link them in the description because they're really good. Okay, first here we have The Selection by Kira Cass. And I can already feel how indecisive I'm gonna be. Well, I feel that The Selection was a series that got better as it went on, but overall as a whole, I mean, the writing wasn't very good, but something about it was like fun to read. So I'm gonna put it in it was okay. Just put an average there. Okay, then we have Matched by Ali Condi. This is another series I feel was just kind of average. I actually did not like who the main character ended up with either, and which I'm kind of used to that by now though, because I always just seem to be on the losing ship. But I'm gonna put that in it was okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it in not a huge fan because it was worse than The Selection. Okay, Divergent. I loved Divergent. I should probably reread it, but I'm gonna put it in loved it because I really did like it. All right, Throne of Glass. I feel like the first 3-ish books were just like okay, but oh hi puppy. She sits there and stares at me. Right, so Throne of Glass. I feel like the first 3 books were slow. I think around Queen of Shadows is when it got to be starting to get really good, and I did really enjoy it. So I'm gonna put Throne of Glass and loved it. Okay, Pretty Little Liars. I read this when I was in high school, and I think I actually read it before the TV series, I think. And I really liked it, but I did feel like the author started to kind of like drag the story on. There were some really unbelievable elements, and it just started to get bad. I think I'm gonna put in it was okay. Okay, Warriors Into the Wild. This was like my favorite series when I was, I don't know, 12, something like that, 10. So should I put in God tier, or I'm gonna put in loved it? I feel like God tier. I don't know, I don't want to put anything in there. Okay, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is very cutesy and fun, but the movies might be better just because it brings more life to the book. I don't know. They're very cutesy, but not like amazing, so I'm gonna put it in it was okay. All right, Gossip Girl. Now this is a really good example of an adaptation that is better than the book. The TV series is so much better. The books were not great. So I'm gonna put that in not a huge fan. Okay, After by Anna Todd. Now, I don't know what to do with this. So here's the thing. I think the books are horrible. I think that they're really poorly written, and not only that, but they really glorify like a really toxic, horrible relationship, and it's not like a book I would ever suggest to anybody. I think across the board it's just bad in every way, but there is something somehow compelling where I read the whole series. I felt compelled to finish it. I think I might have to I'm gonna put it in not a huge fan, because I would put it in burn it. But I did, for some reason, like them enough to just keep reading. Like I wanted to know what was gonna happen or something. So I don't know. Alright, 3 Dark Crowns. Love. Alright, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So good. I'm gonna put it in loved it. I feel like weird using God tier. I feel like that has to be really good. Alright, Mortal Instruments. I'm gonna put that in not a huge fan, because I really did not enjoy it, even though I did read them all. Hunger Games. I'm gonna put in, should I put in God tier? I really did enjoy The Hunger Games. It was like my favorite book when I was 14. I'm gonna put in God tier. Alright, Caraval. I'm gonna put it in loved it. The first book was not as good, but the second book and the third, Legendary and Finale, were great. Legendary especially was really good. All right, Lightning Thief, I'm also going to put in loved it. I thought it was really good, especially for like that age group, middle grade. All right, The Fire Within. I was really into dragons when I was younger, so I was really curious about this series. And I think the first book was good, and then it just went downhill and like crashed and burned. So I'm going to put it in not a huge fan. The Air Awakened series. This is a series that is not as known, but a good friend suggested it to me. Captivated me right away. I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to put it in loved it. Alright, Furyborn. I kind of want to put it in God tier because I loved Kingsbane, the second book in the series, so much. The series isn't totally finished yet though, so I'm going to put it in God tier because that's how much I enjoyed Kingsbane. Alright, Cruel Prince. Boom. All the way to the top. That is my stuff. Alright, Shadow and Bone. I have this thing with the Shadow and Bone series where I really enjoy the books when I'm reading them, but then when it's time to go to the next book, I find it really hard to get into the next book for some reason. I'm going to put it in It Was Okay, because it wasn't like my favorite. I didn't love it, but it was okay. Alright, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So I love the movie, the Netflix movie. It was so cute. And they really changed some things and made some of the characters nicer or better. So I kind of like that because some of the characters were kind of mean in the book. And I feel like the protagonist in the book sounds a lot younger than her age. I think she's supposed to be like 16, but she really comes across as like 10 or 11. So obviously having a lead in the movie who is the correct age or older really benefited the character. So I actually did not really love the series. I'm going to put it in It Was Okay. Alright, and Ember in the Ashes, I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to put it in loved it because it was a really fun read. Okay, Shatter Me. If you've seen my first video on this channel, you probably know how I feel about it. I'm going to put this one in burn it. I'm really sorry, but I just hated everything about it. The writing, the strike-throughs, the author strikes through several words and phrases throughout the first few books. And I just hated that. And I didn't like the protagonist. I didn't like the insta-love. I didn't like the weird love triangle or whatever it was with the villain. Yeah, It's a no from me, dog. As Randy Jackson would say. Okay, Harry Potter. It's going to go straight into God tier. Absolutely one of my favorite things of all time. But I have to say, I really do not agree with J.K. Rowling's transphobic tweets and stances. So I just wow, I can't believe Harry Potter has no author now. Okay, Twilight. So I loved Twilight when I was 11 or 12. Now I feel weird about it. I don't know why. I feel like in hindsight, I don't like the relationship. I have a fun story for this one too, though. When I was, I think, 11 or 12, the first book was out, maybe the first and second, but not all of them yet. And an acquaintance of mine said, "Hey, have you heard of Twilight?" And I said, "No." Can you believe? Like, I actually have such a vivid memory of life before Twilight. And she said, "It's this book about a girl whose boyfriend is a vampire and best friend is a werewolf. You should borrow it." And I was like, okay. So she gave me her copy of Twilight and I borrowed it, and then life was never the same. I was so obsessed with the Twilight series. I probably read it I want to say 5 or 6 times at least, except for the last book. I really didn't like Breaking Dawn. So if this was 12-year-old me making this list, I would put it in God tier. But now I think I'm going to put it in It Was Okay because I just find the relationship a bit creepy now. I haven't reread it though since I was 13, 14 maybe even. But oh my gosh, I was so obsessed too. I remember trying to wear outfits that I thought Bella would wear. And then I was all I want a truck like the one that Bella had. I don't know what was wrong with me. Oh, and there was this app where you could make stop motion graphics or stories, and it would play the slides that you drew. So it was watching a flip book or stop motion. And I actually drew on my iPod Touch the entire first half of the book. Like, I like sat there with my little iPod Touch, drawing the science classroom and writing out each line. And I didn't even really have to use the book as a reference. Like, I just remembered the lines, I remembered the scenes. It was really extreme. And I loved the book so much that I refused to see the movies because I thought it would ruin the image I had in my head. When Breaking Dawn Part 2 came out is when I finally watched the movies. Sorry, that was like a long Twilight tangent. Anyway, so we have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is so fantastic and hilarious. That goes straight to the top. I haven't read all of them though, but what I have read, I just loved. I actually laughed out loud a couple times too, which is kind of hard for me to do. I feel like I can be a tough critic. Okay, Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. I watched the movie again a little while ago and it was so cute. I now have seen that some people have called out like certain problematic elements of the books. I really don't remember those like specific details, but as like a 14-year-old, I thought the books were hilarious. It was just the kind of comedic relief that I needed being in high school and hating it. So I'm gonna put it in loved it. Alright, Summer I Turned Pretty. So this is by the same author as To All the Boys I Loved Before, which is why I wanted to read To All the Boys I Loved Before, because when I was younger I really liked The Summer I Turned Pretty. I think it's kind of silly overall. So I'm gonna put it in It Was Okay. Alright, Mates, Dates, and Inflatable Bras. This was the Mates and Dates series. It was so cute. I remember finding it in the library. Kind of similarly to The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, it was a series about a group of teenage girls who lived in the UK and they had all these different, you know, like boy problems or like drama. I really loved them when I was younger, and I think there was like 12 or 13 books and I read all of them, and I remember like being so sad during the last book. So I'm gonna put that in loved it. Oh! Okay, I thought I was gonna be like a tough critic and put everything and burn it, but no. Okay, and now we have Series of Unfortunate Events, which I have read all of them except for the very, very last book. I don't know what happened, but I think my mom and I were reading them together when I was younger, and we really enjoyed them. And then for some reason, we never finished the last book. So I think we just got busy or something and then just never went back to it. So I don't know how it ends. No one spoil it for me. Eventually I'll find out. I did really enjoy these books when I was younger, so I'm going to put in loved it. And then The Clique. I talked about this in my last video. I loved this series, but it's just the characters are horrible to each other and they're really mean. So I'm just going to put that in, not a huge fan. And alright, there is the final product. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.